Islam is very clear in its teachings against racism, discrimination, and tribalism. From the Quran to the Hadith, the message is unambiguous. All humans are equal in the sight of Allah, and no one is superior based on race, color, or lineage. The Quran emphasizes this repeatedly, stating that Allah created humanity from a single soul and made nations and tribes only to know one another, not to claim superiority over each other. Every individual is judged by their piety and good deeds, not by their skin color, ethnicity, or social status. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reinforced this principle throughout his life. He consistently treated people equally, regardless of their social status, tribe, or background. One of his final sermons, delivered during the Hajj, clearly declared that no Arab is superior to a non-Arab, no white person is superior to a black person, and no male is superior to a female, except through righteousness and good conduct. These words were revolutionary at the time and remain timeless in their guidance. The Prophet also chose companions from diverse backgrounds, Africans, Persians, Arabs, and others, and elevated them based on their character and faith, not their lineage. Islam directly challenges societal hierarchies that are based on birth, caste, or ethnicity. In societies where caste or social rank is rigidly enforced, like in historical Hindu communities, the Quran and Hadith promote unity and mutual respect among all believers. Teachings of Islam emphasize that any form of racial or tribal pride is a vain notion, and the Ummah, the community of Muslims, is meant to transcend these divisions. Early Islamic practices, such as giving equal rights to slaves and allowing them to rise in society, demonstrate a practical approach to dismantling social discrimination. Compared to other religions, Islam's stance on equality is explicit and actionable. In Judaism, for example, the concept of being chosen can create a perception of inherent superiority tied to birth and ethnicity. Hinduism maintains a caste system in many communities today, where social status and roles are assigned by birth. This system continues to affect social mobility and equality despite legal reforms in India. Sikhism, while teaching equality and rejecting caste in principle, still sees caste-based distinctions in practice due to cultural influence. Judaism introduces the concept of a chosen people with a historical claim to the land of Israel, linking identity and certain privileges to ancestry rather than individual merit. Christianity emphasizes spiritual equality before God, but historically it has often coexisted with social hierarchies and did not provide a systematic framework to eliminate racial or ethnic discrimination. Islam, in contrast, is explicit in forbidding racial, ethnic, or social superiority. The Quran teaches that all humans are created from a single soul, and people are distinguished only by their righteousness. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reinforced this in his final sermon, declaring that no Arab is superior to a non-Arab, and no black person is inferior to a white person. Only piety and good deeds matter. This creates a clear, practical framework for equality, making Islam uniquely equipped to address racism and social discrimination. Islam's guidance is not just theoretical, it is deeply practical. It dismantles social hierarchies and promotes justice, equality, and brotherhood, setting a standard that remains unmatched in its clarity and comprehensiveness compared to other major religions. The Quran and Hadith repeatedly remind believers that true honor lies in one's conduct, faith, and service to humanity, not in one's race, birth, or ethnicity. This makes Islam uniquely equipped to tackle racism at both personal and societal levels, providing a moral and social blueprint for equality that transcends culture, geography, and time. Christianity emphasizes spiritual equality, but historically it has often coexisted with social hierarchies and colonial structures, and does not systematically confront racism in the same structured way as Islam. Sikhism strongly opposes caste discrimination in principle, yet in practice, cultural influences have sometimes allowed caste divisions to persist. Islam, in contrast, does not allow for inherited privilege or discrimination, Every person's value is determined by their actions, ethics, and devotion to God. Even within multi-ethnic societies, Islamic instructions encourage believers to judge individuals by their character, honesty, and contribution, rather than lineage or skin color. Daily prayers, community gatherings, and social rituals in Islam serve as reminders that everyone is equal before Allah. Festivals, charity, and collective worship reinforce this unity as rich and poor, black and white, male and female, stand together as one community. This clear framework in Islam has profound social implications. By placing moral and spiritual virtue above racial or tribal identity, Islam creates a system that actively discourages discrimination. The Prophet's teachings and practices provide concrete examples for eradicating racism, choosing leaders based on merit and piety, treating servants and workers with dignity, marrying outside tribal or ethnic lines, and promoting social welfare regardless of background. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, fought racism, not only through words but through powerful actions. He appointed Bilal ibn Rabah, peace be upon him, a formerly enslaved African man, to be the first caller to prayer, giving him one of the highest honors in the Muslim community. When Abu Dar once insulted Bilal with a racial remark, the Prophet, peace be upon him, immediately corrected him and said, "You are a man who still has ignorance in you," showing that racism has no place in Islam. He, peace be upon him, also stood up publicly for Salman al-Farsi, peace be upon him, a Persian man who had traveled for years in search of the truth and accepted Islam in Medina as a non-Arab. With no tribal connection, some Arabs argued over which tribe could claim him, but the Prophet, peace be upon him, erased all tribal superiority by declaring, "Salman is from us, the people of my household," placing him at the highest honor regardless of race or origin. He, peace be upon him, encouraged marriages across tribes and races, such as the marriage of Zayd ibn Haritha and Zainab bint Jahsh, challenging social norms tied to lineage. In his community, Arabs, Africans, Persians, and Byzantines all prayed, ate, and lived together without distinction. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, elevated many companions from non-Arab backgrounds to positions of honor, showing that ancestry had no value compared to faith. He, peace be upon him, appointed Usama ibn Zayd, peace be upon him, a young black companion, as the commander of a major military expedition over senior Arab leaders, proving that leadership is based on merit, not race or age. When some questioned his appointment, the Prophet, peace be upon him, defended Usama and reminded the community that his father, Zayd, was also loved by him and honored by Allah. He, peace be upon him, also embraced Suhaib al-Rumi, peace be upon him, a Roman who had been enslaved, calling him Suhaib the Good and treating him as family. Another example is his treatment of the Abyssinians who came to Medina. He, peace be upon him, would stand up for them, welcome them warmly, and instruct the Muslims to care for them, saying they were people of dignity. Even during prayer, he, peace be upon him, would prolong his sujood when he heard a child crying, showing compassion beyond tribe or background. He, peace be upon him, erased tribal superiority by stating clearly that the weak are to be protected and the strong held accountable. Through these consistent actions, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, built a community where race, nationality, and lineage held no weight compared to faith, humility, and righteousness. He, peace be upon him, showed superiority belongs only to piety and character, making equality a lived reality in the earliest Muslim society.